Hello, Kiara. My name is Cece, and welcome to the Zeal Fujoshi podcast. Today, I am very thrilled to have the incredibly talented Kiara workshop with us. Kiara is a renowned professional costumer whose work has captivated audiences worldwide. Before we dive into her career, let's break the ice. Kiara, what's your favorite character to cosplay?
Gonna have to say Iron Man. It just has such a sentimental value to me, and the challenge of building the armor is always something that I really enjoy, even though it takes a lot out of me and it's a big challenge. I think it turns a lot of heads and I have a lot of fun doing it.
Can you share what your design process is like and how do you go from concept to final costume?
So I start out with a lot of reference images. I'll usually compile a ton of them. I'll plug them into a software like Fusion 360 or Blender, and I'll model it up usually from scratch unless I have a friend who has a model that already exists that's really accurate. So it's usually a mix of those two. And then I'll usually start printing. If it's an Iron Man suit, for example, I'll print it right away and then I'll start fitting electronics to it. I'll design hardware to fit inside of it. And then from there, it's just sanding and painting and making sure everything fits.
Can you share some of the biggest challenges that you faced on your costume and share how you were able to overcome it?
With every build, there's a different challenge. So I guess I'll go back to Iron Man and then give some other examples as well. But Iron Man is a hard one because you have to keep the proportions correct. They use CGI for the suits a lot of the time, so the legs are always way longer than they actually are in real life. So getting those proportions correct is really hard. Making sure things fit and don't physically hurt you is also very hard. I have a number of injuries from Iron Man suits specifically, scars on my legs. I lost feeling in my thumb, but beauty is pain. With something like the Glamrock Bonnie suit, one of the biggest challenges is distributing weight. The head is really heavy, so figuring that out and how not to snap my own neck was a challenge in itself. Getting the fingers puppeted, the mechanical eyes. There's always a different challenge, even electronically with builds like this, but usually I can figure it out.
Following up on that, how do you balance your artistic vision with the practical needs of your production? For example, what you just said, how do you ensure costumes are comfortable and yet still functional?
Sometimes you have to make the sacrifice to be accurate and sacrifice your comfort. With Iron Man, for example, that's one that I do that a lot for. Eventually I would like to fix that and actually not suffer in it, but there are costumes that aren't actually horrible to wear. The Bonnie suit, for example. The suit itself isn't bad, it's just the head, but we're working that out. But balancing it isn't too hard.
You're very well known for your Iron Man cosplay, but is there any other projects that you're particularly proud of, and can you share what made it special or unique?
One would be my Thor Ragnarok costume, which I don't really post about much anymore. It was where I kind of started. I originally made it out of real leather, and then I rebuilt it out of foam for more comfort. I got to take it to the Thor Love and Thunder red carpet premiere, and they actually signed the helmet and stuff, so I'm pretty proud of that. It feels like my whole journey kind of came full circle, for sure.
Cosplay has evolved so much over the years. Can you share your thoughts on the future of costume design and how do you see it evolving for the next couple of years?
I feel like things are moving very quickly in the building community in general. Cosplayers are becoming more advanced because we have material 3D printers, for example. Everybody's picking up. I feel every year there's a new device that helps us make things more efficiently and better and more accurate. Sewing machines, 3D printers, laser engravers, CNC cutters. More and more of these machines are becoming available to us at a more hobby level price or size, and so cosplayers are able to utilize these to use in their costumes and make them better. So I feel in a few years we're gonna have hyper realistic costumes of all sorts.
What advice would you give someone aspiring to become a costume designer?
Just go for it. Don't sell yourself short. You can learn a lot pretty quickly and pretty easily. I know a lot of people are scared to do it because they don't know where to begin, but you kind of just have to find like a smaller section of like a costume or a build to take on and then go from there. Learning is half the battle, but it's also the best part of it because at the end of the day you're learning a new skill and you're applying it to something that you really care about.
Following up on that, how do you stay up with the latest trends and techniques in costume design?
That's a tricky one. It's because I feel like everything on the internet is pretty fast. Like staying up with trends is almost impossible being a maker because like things take so much time. Like by the time I actually built the Wolverine claws I had, the movie was like out for like 4 weeks. So it's really hard to like keep up with things, but you kind of just have to pick something that you care about most because like there's always a ton of movies out to pick from, to build something from. Pick one thing, stick to it, and just try to get it out in time. But I tend to not try to follow trends just because it's just so hard to keep up with everything genuinely.
Kiara, thank you so much for joining us here in the Zilfo Joshi podcast. Can you share your social media accounts or website where our followers can follow you?
Yeah, Instagram and TikTok are Kira's_workshop, and YouTube is Kira's workshop.
And do you have any exciting projects in the future that we can keep an eye off?
I have a V2 of the Pokeball build I did. It's going to be able to be thrown and hopefully be rechargeable. So that'll be the soonest one coming out.
Thank you, Kiara. We really appreciate you today.
Thank you for having me.